All right, we are going to get going in just a few seconds. If everyone can take a seat.
What's up? Good to see you, James. Good, brother. How you?
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is fantastic to see all of you. Welcome to City College. I'd first like to thank President Vincent Boudreau for hosting us today in this amazing location, and it's going to be a very exciting day given what we're about to share with all of you. My name is Maria Torres Springer. I'm the Deputy Mayor for Economic and Workforce Development, and I have to say, nothing makes me more excited than to speak with young people and see not just how they are having fun, but really the types of ways we can connect young people to our growing economy, to jobs, to prosperity, because that is what we are all about in this administration. I really do want to thank all of you for joining us here today. We have such amazing partners and guests here. Leadership, of course, from CUNY and from City College, industry leaders in the game development space, of course, our amazing students who are here with us today. Thank you for joining us in today's announcement about the city's investment in the digital game sector. You will hear from many of our partners here today, but I want to make sure that I give a particular shout out to Stan Altman of the Harlem Gallery of Science for all of his incredible work and inspiration and all of his efforts. So earlier in the spring, the mayor announced and revealed our blueprint for our economic recovery, and that blueprint outlined many different strategies for the future of our economy. It's been really important to us that our economic recovery is rooted in equity and economic mobility. And we know that we have to look to the future to solve the problems and challenges of today. That is why we are so committed to supporting the digital games industry, which plays a major and growing role in our city's economy. It supports close to 8 change lives across our city, because we know that investing in different sectors of our economy isn't just about investing in companies. It's really about investing in our young people. It's investing in New Yorkers who really have an opportunity to connect to those meaningful and good-paying jobs in our growing sectors. And so, to kick us off, I would like to introduce Matthew Diaz, a student right here at CUNY and the president of the CUNY esports community. Matthew.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just fix this mic here a second. As you all may have heard, my name is Matthew Lopez. I'm a graduating senior here at City College. I'm in the Colin Powell School, as a political science major, and also the president of the esports club. To say that I'm excited to be here is an understatement. This is something that I could have only dreamed of months ago, and yet here we are now. I'd like to thank the Gumbo Collective game developers for being here. If we can get a round of applause for them. Sarah Applebaum, and the Glow Up Games for providing the Made in New York arcade, the wonderful arcade we have back there. We get a round of applause for them, yeah? And I'm also really honored and glad to attend City College, a college that has not only helped me academically, but personally. I mean, to see them throw their support behind such an ambitious project is really just a sight to behold. These kinds of things we wouldn't have made possible years and years ago. And yet here we are. I have a lot of this, my personal success, my professional development, my personal development, my academics. It's all thanks to games, in a large part. To say that it wasn't such a foundational aspect of why I am here today is an understatement, genuinely. From being able to make the wonderful friends that I have at the esports club, to being able to time manage in those tense situations when I'm playing competitively in the esport of my choice. Video games in all aspects have shaped me into the kind of person that I am. And to be quite frank with you, it has led me here to where I am today in front of you. I am really honored and very happy to know that the mayor and the mayor's office has thrown their support behind this. This project has such great potential, and its effects are far-reaching and immediate. And I hope that you can all really recognize that and appreciate that in the same way that I, the members of the Esports Club, and the mayor here has today. But without further ado, it is my great honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to introduce the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams.
Glad you're not running for office. Just a few moments that I spent in the back watching the game, something came over me. I think it was the second game where you were caught up in the excitement. We were watching it was soccer, ringing the bell, and you're caught up in the moment. You don't even realize how much you get caught in the game. And I used to see my son spend 8 hours playing the game. Now I know why. But it was also another game I saw that taught critical thinking. This is like an unbelievable opportunity to use gaming. We think of gaming, all I thought I was going to walk in here and see Pac-Man, And it's so much more. We can almost treat gaming to help people who are dealing with dementia to remember things. Gaming for people who want to learn financial literacy, how to buy a house, how to pay for college. Gaming to deal with some of the hate crime we see in this city, the anti-Asian violence, anti-Semitism, attacks on the LGBTQ community. They could be games that's developed to teach us how to enjoy our diversity. So this is a great moment. And then esports. Those who never played a sport physically, you could almost master it in esport. This is going to become a multi-billion-dollar industry that you are going to be part of. So the jocks of yesterday that, were only good at sports, those days are over. Gaming is the great equalizer. Any and everyone could play in one way or the other and lean into those things that are important. So Chancellor and the entire teams that's here, I'm really happy for this moment. We thought of this, we talked about it. How do we not only become consumers, but developers? Everyone wants to sell a product to you. Now you're in a position of saying, we want you to buy my product. Your product is no longer someone designing something that you have to participate, and it's not reflective of who you are. Now you're able to create a game that is really reflective of what you think, what you see in the universe that you're in. And so today with CUNY City College, with the students, the CUNY leadership, and the gaming industry, we're here today, and I'm excited about this. And we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the visionary of the amazing Deputy Mayor of Economic and Workforce Development, Maria Torres Springer. We've been hanging out the whole week, rolling out some good stuff. And she just knew this was the right thing to do, as well as the team from the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, just the right team to make our city the center of innovation of all levels. We want to be the center of innovation. We've had a history of innovating, from skyscrapers to the subway system, to so many things happened right here in New York, from Bitcoin to blockchain. All of the things, they start here and they continue to grow here. If they don't start here, they grow here, because we get it right all the time. And it's based on the diversity of the people that live in this city, because they bring all of their energies and spirit to the innovation that's needed. And it's time for us to lead in this industry of digital gaming space. New York City is a leader in so many areas: tech, film, finance, so many different areas we're leaders in, but not here yet. When it comes to gaming development, we are outside of the top 5. We want to change that in the next few years. We want to be number 1. How the heck do we follow anyone? We're in New York City. We don't follow people, we lead. And so the goal is to use CUNY to start the pipeline of ensuring that we're going to start building out our gaming industry. We know that we have the highest concentration of augmented and virtual reality gaming jobs in the nations, highest number. And we have so much talent here every day, just some of the games that we were discussing earlier. And so we want to make the city the hub. And 2 months ago, we launched the blueprint for economic recovery coming out of the deputy mayor's office. And we spoke about building a future-focused economy and how we must stop and step into innovations in order to do so and create the entrepreneurs, the new thinkers, and come up with a real good product that everyone globally would like to duplicate or to purchase. Any one of you in this room could become the creators of next Rockstar Games company or the developers of the next Rocket League or NBA 2K. I assume that's 2000. You know, I didn't play any of those games, you know. But you could clearly become the next head of that. So today we're going to really level up. We are investing in our future, in the future of New York City gaming development with some big announcements today that I'm really happy for. This is something we wanted to do. I'm proud to announce the funding and creation of City College Bachelor's degree program in game design, an actual degree in game design. We're investing $2 million into this program. I was a computer programmer as a young person. I know how powerful it is, the skills you take forever. And so these $2 million, we believe, is going to help reach over 1,000 students over the next 3 years and is aimed at increasing diversity and equity in the digital gaming field. Far too often, you're not seeing the diversity in this field. We want to increase that diversity so those who play the game will look like the people who are also designing the games. That's the match that we are looking for. This complements the work that so many in the industry are already doing, including New NYXL's recent announcement of their Young Creators program, providing fellowships to the next generation of content developers. Wherever we go, wherever the deputy mayor and I go, if it's at Google, if it's at Netflix, wherever we go, we talk about paid internship programs and building a pipeline for those young people to fill those jobs. That is the goal here. If you don't get exposed, then you don't see the possibilities out there, and we're focused on telling all of these large companies that you patronize it's time to hire from the communities that are actually purchasing your product, and we're on a mission to accomplish that. And this is the part that I like a lot. We are going to put in place the first ever Digital Games Industry Council. We are bringing together the top digital game companies, nonprofits, and industry leaders and young people to sit down and advise the city on how to grow this important industry right here in New York, as well as partner with educators to create pathways from classroom to careers and game designs. You can do this not only in college, you could do this in high school, you could do it in junior high school. You have in your heads already as young people the type of games that could be designed. We want to bring you to the table and clearly set the standard on how this industry must grow. Using public and private partnerships, we could obtain the level of gaming that we want. And so I want to finish with this. Today, we are going to push forward. We begin this quest together. This is how we're going to get stuff done in the city and accomplish a fair and equitable city. We're not leaving anyone behind. This is a great city, but it's not great because of the tall buildings. It's not great because of the museums, the theaters, and all of that stuff. It's great because of the people. And too many people did not feel and reach their greatness and their full potential. We say no to that. Not only are you going to be successful gamers, but you're going to use the tools to help those who have been left far behind in the past. Thank you. Amazing announcement. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Mayor Adams. Now I'd like to introduce someone who's been a fantastic partner and will continue to be. We could not do this without the partnership and an amazing institution. And there's a lot at stake here. The jobs in an industry like this really run the gamut, from game development to all of the occupations within publishing, to data science, to research, to marketing, to the financial services that need to be part of the ecosystem. And in my mind, there is no reason why CUNY can't be the #1 pipeline to all of those jobs. And so with that, let me welcome our amazing Chancellor, Felix Matos Rodriguez.
Thank you, Maria, and the answer is yes. Okay. By all means, by all means. Let me just, Matthew, your parents still with us? Second? Your parents are still with us? One is. So Matthew, phone call to mom or dad. Yeah, Poli-Sci, what else are you doing? Oh, I'm the president of the e-game club. Ay, mijo, why are you doing that? You should be doing something worth your time. I just want you, when you get that diploma, you take a picture of you and the mayor that you're introducing, and you say, you see what I was doing in college, right? Because that is a chance of success. So congratulations to you and to the mayor. And this is a great partnership. I want to give kudos to our host, the president from City College, Vincent Boudreau, and the entire team here. Also, the leadership at Ostos Community College, President Daisy Coco de Filippis, who couldn't be here, who are the partners in the pipeline, right? Because this is the beauty in the mayor's message, is that he is encouraging all of us and saying, you need to start working with these students early. He mentioned it, high school, right, back in K-12, pushing us to do more partnership with the great Chancellor, Chancellor Banks in the DOE, right? So those pathways begin fairly early. You begin thinking about that. This is easy because the students are already engaged in this. You need to have them visualize. Like you said, becoming producers, not just consumers, but they understand already the space. You don't have to tell them too many things so they can visualize why is it important and exciting. And then have them go to a community college like Ostos, get their 2-year degree, knowing that they're going to continue to a 4-year degree, have them with paid internships, with experience in all these companies. That is music to our ears. As the deputy mayor is saying, there's so many other fields, right, that are perfect in our college environment to be able to add into the mix. Marketing, finance. Think about the video games need artists to be able to produce the beautiful animation. So the game is important, right? If you play those games, I don't, but I hear my kids in the basement do. The music is really important, right? So there's room also for the talent of our musicians to be part of the mix. The people who are doing producing musically to do that. So there's a whole gamut of industries, of talents that we know we have here at CUNY that can be tapping into this industry. Think about also then when they go and they join leagues, right? The sports management, the work that can be done in that area, right? So that we can become the #1 hub in the country where those games are being played and those leagues are being played, right? And our teams are beating everybody else around the country, right? We want that talent, those dollars, and we also want to showcase the diverse talent that uniquely CUNY can produce at scale, right? Because we want that to be reflected in all these games. We want it to be reflected in this kind of industry. So I applaud the mayor for the support that we have for this initiative. This is only the beginning at the City University of New York so that we can have many, many more Matthews walking down the aisle at commencement with so many degrees, proud, and going out there making good money, donating money back to CUNY. Right? That's important, right? So the mayor can give us less money, right? And everybody benefits in the city. So we want that entire ecosystem of an equitable economy to be here, and we are so happy to have a mayor that is supporting us to do that at work at CUNY, and we'll do our part, and thank you so much for the support.
Thank you, Chancellor. You're going to be very busy, Matthew, in the years and decades to come. We're very excited to watch your continued success. Now I'd like to introduce Philip Courtney, who is the CEO of Urban Arts, to share a few words.
Thank you. So at Urban Arts, we are committed to closing the widening opportunity gap. We help underrepresented students harness technology, explore their creativity in order to defy the odds that we're hearing about today, and define their future. 5 years ago, we created the School of Interactive Arts. A few graduates here today. Sarah, who showed her game, and Darcy, and Daquan, Sage. We created this program called the School of Interactive Arts because we saw a huge demand from our students. We work primarily in K-12 schools, the pipeline you're talking about. And so we created this program called the School of Interactive Arts because there was a huge appetite for students to play games, but also more importantly, as you said, as a consumer, to produce it, to make them. We have graduated hundreds of students from that program. Many of them have gone to schools around the country and to top universities, private universities, but never has there been an option, a public option, for them to study this very important growing subject in their backyard. And so this is, for me and for us, a historic day. I say we give the private universities a run for their money. So big thanks to CCNY, Stan Altman, Barry, some of the architects who've been working on this for a couple of years now, and to the Mayor's Office for this historic moment. We're going to be strengthening the pipeline of our students. We're going to be serving about 15 schools in Harlem and the South Bronx. We're also going to be growing our internship and mentorship program, which, as we discussed, as we heard today, is very, very important. At the onset of the pandemic, we noticed that our students were very isolated. We also heard from some of our corporate partners, like Take-Two, for example, the largest game publisher in the world, that their employees were also restless and wanting to give back. So we created a one-to-one mentorship program where they could connect virtually. We have been trying to recover from that ever since, because the demand from these corporations, the corporations that have money, that want to invest, is huge, and the desire of these employees to give back is huge, and the impact is amazing. I just wanted to read you a couple of quotes. So one mentee, this is the student, said of this program, I learned how I can apply my skills to the work field and where my place could be in the video game industry. This is a two-way street, right? The mentor said, I gained a new friend, a renewed motivation to use my privilege and any privilege I have to help others. I would absolutely love this for our company to do more of this. I know that all of my co-workers want to pay the experience for it and ultimately create a more diverse workforce in this industry. So it's a two-way street, and I see a lot of, I'm very excited about what we're going to do in the mentoring and, as you said, paid internships. It's not an internship unless it's paid. Thank you all. This is a great moment for us, a moment for the city. It's very important for the students that we serve to have a place at the table and to have a front row seat at the future of economy, and this initiative is going to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Philip. Really love the brilliant work that you're doing, and it's important that this work start really early. And the work in the K-12 system is just so critical to building the diverse pipelines that will really make this, all our collective efforts, as meaningful as possible. And so finally, I would like to introduce the CEO of NYXL, James Fry, and welcome one of New York City's favorite teams and two-time conference champions as well, and New York Excelsior. Thank you and welcome.
Hi, I'm James Fry, honored to be here today. I am the CEO of NYXL, which is New York City's premier esports and gaming entertainment company, and we very much believe in the deputy mayor and the mayor's mission to make New York City the gaming capital of the world. We own the New York Subliners, the professional Call of Duty team, the New York Fury, the professional Valorant team, and the New York Excelsior, the professional Overwatch team. Our teams and our organization bring the diversity, attitude, and energy that exists in our great city to everything we do. One of the things we always say to people who are competitors from other cities, we tell them, whatever you've got, we've got it better. And that's what we believe is the spirit of New York. We are also putting our money where our mouth is and supporting their program very much by launching what is called the YXL program, the Young Creators Program, where we are going to give 10 New Yorkers $50,000 one-year internships. And we are going to continue that program for as long as we can. Applications are open until May 26th. Any of you students in here who want to be part of the org and make content or make games or do whatever you do, we are open for business and we want you to come join us. If you come down to our office, which is in the 49th floor of the World Trade Center, it looks like New York City by design. We love this city, we believe in this city, and we're going to make it the gaming capital of the world with the support of the deputy mayor and the mayor. I want to next introduce the founder of the company and president of the company, Farzam Kamel, who has some things for our esteemed mayor, Mr. Adams.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. As James sort of alluded to, we have here today the New York Excelsior, which is the first professional esports franchise that represents this great city. We take a lot of pride in that team. We're going to welcome them up here in a minute for a special moment to meet the mayor and also introduce him as an honorary member of the team. Before we do that, however, I just want to say to the community of Overwatch players here and the esports club, thank you for doing what you do. We notice it, we see it. There would be nothing that gives us more joy than in the future a member of this team coming from this region, and if not a player on the team, then candidates for all the roles that we very much intend to open up here in the market. It'd be awesome if it came from people who are actually local. So we're excited for this moment, and I want to thank everyone for inviting us here. And with that said, I want to invite the team up here for the jersey handover.
All you guys play on the team?
So these are the players. Where it says the head coach and the assistant coach.
Yes,
And I'm the manager.
Lovely, lovely. Let me get in the middle.
Okay.
Right in the middle. If you haven't noticed, I have my number on the back.
Good, man.
Look at that. Own advertising. Thank you so much. Open up to any questions. Move. You got more? Want me? See if we have any on topics before everybody moves in. Not too.
Mayor Adams, or Deputy Mayor, what's the timeline for the availability of the degree? I think that I deduced that Matthew will graduate with a poli-sci degree. What's the first class that will be able to graduate with a bachelor's degree?
Please, so generally speaking, this fall, the 4-year program will start, and also at City College. But there's also a great arrangement and partnership with Hostos. So the students who are in the 2-year program there will be a nice transition as well, and that will start, I think, graduating by 2024. So please correct me if any of that is inaccurate.
No, totally accurate. We're building this program. One of the reasons it's appropriate at City College is we have classes in our digital arts programs, computer science, that are already on the books, already taking students. So we will start enrolling students in the fall, and that means, especially with the Hostos graduates, we should see them getting BAs 2 years after that. So we're coming in hot, and we're going to graduate students really fast.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Any more on topic? Okay, so we're gonna free you guys up. Y'all don't want to be part of off topic. Real pleasure, man. Good luck to you. Look forward to your visit. Okay.
Thank you again for all the support.
Thank you, man. This is good stuff. Yes, man. Really. All right. Thank you. The well, one thing we're not going to do is use old methods to fight an old war, to fight a new war, I should say. We have new tools, new methods, new things that are available for us, and we're going to constantly analyze them and make the right decision. I've said this over and over with COVID. COVID pivots and shifts. If we're rigid, we won't defeat it. And so we're saying to New Yorkers, we are urging people indoors, wear masks indoors. If you are in settings on the subway system like it's already in place, just make the smart decisions. Boosters, vaccinations is crucial. When you look at our hospitalizations, it is now, the reason of our hospitalization is heavy on people who are non-vaccinated. So it's crucial to do so. So we're not going to panic. We're going to continue to be prepared. That's the key.
Mayor Adams, may I ask you for more clarity on what you just said? Does that indicate that there won't be a return to the old restrictions, but a new approach because we're in a new stage?
Nope, it doesn't. You know, when we get off our morning calls, we make a decision on how we're going to move forward. We're not at the point of mandating masks. We're not at that point yet. We're not at the point of doing anything other than urging New Yorkers, while you're indoors in large settings, social settings, wear your mask. Continue to lean on that, lean on our clear message of vaccinations, boosters. We're going to do more advertisement. We're going to really start reaching out to our faith-based institutions to give them tests. We've done an amazing job. We have a testing system in place that nowhere else in the country is able to do so. So what does that mean? Someone gets COVID, they stay home. They're not doing what we were doing before, going out and infecting others. They're staying home. We now have the antivirals. We didn't have that before. We have more tools, so we don't have to fight the war we had before. This is a new war, and we're going to use all those tools to do so.
How would you describe your readiness to mandate anything that we had previously? Are you hesitant?
No, it's not hesitant. It's not hesitant. We're wiser, we're smarter, and we are, because of we're wiser and smarter, you're not seeing our hospitals going through the state of emergency that we were at. This is not the numbers like when we were starting out COVID. We're not like that anymore. Where hospitals were overburdened. We're speaking with H&H. We're speaking with our privates. We're speaking with our schools. They're all saying the same thing. They say, listen, we got this. We're not overwhelmed. We have it. The number of cases in our hospitals are small. The number of deaths are small. My H&H team, my medical team are all saying, let's drill down on the message of indoors, wearing masks, get boosters, vaccinations. We're not at the point that we have to put the mandates in place.
Mr. Mayor, you just said that we're not at the point of putting mask mandates in place, but the matrix from the city health department says we are at that point. That's one of the recommendations at the high level. So kind of begs the question, what's the point of the matrix if none of the recommendations are going to be followed?
Look at remember what was part of the matrix? Part of the matrix looked at hospitalizations. The hospitalizations we were looking at was based on the hospitalizations we dealt with before. Old war, new war. So if we just go straight, hear the numbers, and let's just respond just to the numbers, then we're not pivoting like COVID. COVID pivots. It doesn't follow any rules. So if those hospitalization numbers were dealing with people on ventilators, people dying, people tying up our emergency rooms, we would have looked at those numbers and said, okay, we're fighting that old battle again, but we're not. No, not the ventilation crisis, not the emergency rooms being overwhelmed, not our hospitals being overwhelmed. Our hospitals are telling us, hey, we're not at that place we were before. So the matrix is right, but we're looking deeper at the numbers and doing a real analysis on the ground so we can make the smart decisions.
I'd like to follow up on another topic. What are your top priorities heading to Albany tomorrow?
Mayor accountability is important. I mean, we see the great things we're doing, from dyslexia screening with all of our students to the investments in college funds, to building out the pipeline with gaming. You know, mayor accountability. I said it over and over again. If two Boston fans can have control of our school system, then done it. The Knicks and the Mets and the Nets fans should have control of it also. We're the right combination to control our school system. That's important. We would love to get some of the other important items. We need the NYCL funding, which is crucial. That is something we want to talk about. There on 421A, we would like to see an extension of 421A. So there's time to the end of the session to get some of this stuff passed, and I just think it's important that we get it done.
Speed cameras, where are we on that?
We would love to get speed cameras. The head of the committee in the assembly stated he didn't hear enough from us, which I don't quite understand. The way it's done in Albany, you speak to your colleague that's sponsoring the bill. You know, I don't vote on the bill. We have some great allies out there. Senator Ganadas is there. He believes in the bill. Other believes in the bill. Bring it to the floor of your committee and let the committee vote on it. We're hoping they have a second thought, because this bill, speed cameras save lives. We see the rash of crashes that are fatalities and lives being lost. We should not play politics with saving lives. Let's get this bill to the floor. Let's get an up or down vote. Yes.
Can you speak to
Are you wearing a Miami shirt? Somebody give her a New York shirt. What's up with that?
Can you, on a more serious note,
Yes.
Can you speak to why the health commissioner is issuing an advisory on indoor masking if transmission is so high, rather than issuing a commissioner's order?
Because I can't say this enough. There is no straight 1 and 1 equals 2. You know, I'm a computer programmer, and in binary, 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2. The goal is to come up with a master plan and shift like COVID is shifted. And our team of experts is taking in everything to make the determination on what the next steps are going to be with COVID. And so we're going to continue to lean in to tell New Yorkers while indoors to wear the mask. I try to do as much as possible. We're going to continue to encourage people to do so.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
How many meetings do you have scheduled tomorrow in Albany? Do you plan on meeting with Andre Stewart-Cousins and Carl Hasty? And then also afterwards, do you plan on also joining leaders up in Buffalo with President Joe Biden, of course, in the wake of the shooting?
So let me answer that in levels. First, the number of meetings, the team is still putting that together to make sure we can speak with as many of my former colleagues and new colleagues as possible. And anytime I go to Albany, I like sitting down with Andrea and Carl, and even outside of Albany, so we don't know the exact number. And we're still trying to, tonight we're having a vigil right here in the city, dealing with that awful tragedy of 10 innocent people were assassinated by this terrorist act, and 3 people were also shot. But the pain is going to cascade throughout Buffalo and this entire country. And we're going to try to see if the schedule will allow me to go to Buffalo as well. But we're also going to do our vigil here, and we're encouraging everyone to come out tonight and just really show our support for the family members. Guns, guns, guns. too many, in the hands of the wrong people, too violent, and then you add that to what I've been saying for a long time, the hate on social media. They must start taking responsibility for their actions. I said it over and over again, and I'm happy to hear the governor, the AG, and others are now understanding what I'm saying. This person, according to his manifesto, stated that what he learned about this hate, he did not get it from his friends, families, and associates. He got it from social media. That's a serious message for us. We need to analyze what is on social media that's destroying the people in this country.
Thank you. Back on the high alert level and
Yes.
being expected to enter that. Under the current level, the DOH guidelines urge you to consider re-implementing Key to NYC. You're now saying under the high level that you're not looking to re-implement a mask mandate for indoor spaces. I'm just wondering, if all these guidelines are there and recommending these things, and you're saying that you're not going to follow them, at what point are you going to be ready to follow those guidelines? What would be the trigger for you to actually start mandating things?
So we're going to do this again, because you may have missed what I was saying. First, let's start with the foundation. There are no clear rules dealing with COVID. There are no clear rules. You go across the country, and people are giving their best effort, professionally, medical advice. Everyone is trying to figure out this new entry into our lives called COVID. We put in place rules based on what COVID did previously and how we responded to COVID based on the tools that we had. Now we're moving into a great delivery service of medicine. We're moving into a vaccine, of booster shots, of our hospitals saying, Eric, we're not overwhelmed. We're not overwhelmed. So to just say, well, you wrote this on paper, so now you must follow it, that's not how I govern. I govern based on what's in front of me and how to win the battle. So if I'm stagnant with a enemy that's not stagnant, I'm going to lose the war. I have to win the war. And we made the decision, and if there comes a time that our hospitals are now in a state of emergency, or we're trending that way, then, and my doctors that run the hospitals tell me, Eric, this is what we need to do, I'm going to listen to them. Right now, they're telling me, no, we don't need to do that. We have this under control. We don't have this crisis in our hospitals that we had previously. We don't have that anymore. So I'm listening to the team as I win this battle of COVID for all of us.
Quickly on a different
Yes.
topic. Your administration expected tomorrow to release your plan for fixing Rikers Island. Wondering if you can give us a little bit of a preview what's going to be in that plan. And secondly, there's a new group out today calling for a federal receivership. I'm wondering, is there any circumstance under which you think a federal receivership would be a good idea for Rikers Island?
Okay, so let me do it in two levels. First, am I going to give you a little part of it? No. Second, no. You know, listen, don't let anybody kid you. People's talking about federal receivership, or, you know, they're going to come in, everything's going to be all right. Rikers is dysfunctional. It's broken. It has been for generations. I come in 5 months later, and everyone is asking, why isn't Rikers fixed completely yet? If not, let the feds come in to do so. We have the first Latino commissioner in Rikers who's amazing. He's doing a great job. That's my faith. I have faith in Molina. I have faith in the team he's putting together. I have faith in what he's going to accomplish. When you feed that into things that we're going to do by having every agency participate in helping fixing Rikers, never before, all the agencies are now coming together to say, how do we deal with this problem? We're going to eventually do dyslexia screening in Rikers to find out those young men and women who are dyslexic so they don't have to come back to Rikers. We're going to create a new way of dealing with those who are violent there. We're getting crisis management teams to participate. We're doing for Rikers what no one else did before. So if anyone believes that just because receivership comes in, that all of a sudden something that was dysfunctional for generation is going to change, I doubt that. All I can do is what's within my span of control. We're going to fix Rikers. I need an opportunity to do so. And if they're not willing to give me the opportunity to do so, it's nothing I could do about it. But I do find it strange that the people who are calling for receivership, some of them, they had Rikers. They didn't fix it then. So now they are vociferous about receivership. Why didn't they fix it when they had it? That's a good question. Thank you. Got to bounce.